The night was colder than usual on the colony streets. Small lamps floated above the roads, glowing with a pale blue light. Michael, a single father, walked slowly through the marketplace with his little daughter, Lily. He carried a bag of food in one hand and held Lily's small hand in the other. For him, this was just another night of simple shopping, nothing special. But for Lily, everything was exciting. She looked at the strange stalls where alien traders sold shining crystals, glowing fruits and toys that floated in the air. "Daddy, look." Lily pointed at a creature juggling 6 small fireballs in the corner. Her eyes sparkled with wonder. Michael gave a tired smile. He had worked all day at the repair docks and his body ached. All he wanted was to go home, cook dinner, and let Lily sleep peacefully. But fate had other plans for him. As they reached a quieter street, Lily suddenly stopped. She let go of her father's hand and whispered, "Dad, someone's there." Her voice was soft, almost afraid. Michael followed her gaze. In the shadows near a broken wall, he saw a small figure curled up, shivering. The figure looked weak, its clothes torn and its body covered in dust. At first, Michael thought it was another homeless human child. But when the figure lifted its head, he froze. 2 glowing silver eyes stared back at him. The child was not human. The alien girl's skin shimmered faintly under the streetlight, like soft glass with colors moving just beneath the surface. Her hair was tangled but strangely beautiful, glowing faint blue at the tips. She looked no older than Lily, maybe 9 or 10 years old. Fear and exhaustion filled her face as she pulled back, as if expecting to be hit or captured. Lily gasped, "Daddy, she's hurt!" Without waiting, Lily ran toward the figure. Michael grabbed her arm, quickly pulling her back. "Lily, stop! She's not one of us," he whispered harshly. His heart raced. Everyone on the colony knew the rules. Alien strays were dangerous. Many of them were spies or bait for gangs. Helping them meant trouble. But Lily looked up at him with wide, innocent eyes. "But Dad, look at her. She's just a girl. She's alone." Michael clenched his jaw. He looked again. The alien girl was holding her side, where a deep scratch glowed faintly as if her blood carried light. She was breathing hard, too weak to run. He could hear the fear in her breath. "Go away," Michael said firmly, trying to sound strong. "We can't help you." But then something happened that broke him inside. The alien girl whispered, almost too soft to hear, "Please, don't leave me." Her voice trembled like cracked glass, fragile and weak. Lily tugged on his arm. "Dad, can she stay with us? Just tonight? Please, Daddy. Can she stay forever?" Michael felt his chest tighten. Those words, "stay with us forever," they pierced through his fear. He looked at his daughter, so pure, so kind, asking him for something impossible. He wanted to say no. He wanted to walk away. But when he met the alien girl's silver eyes again, he didn't see danger. He saw loneliness. He saw the same emptiness he had felt when his wife passed away, leaving him to raise Lily alone. The silence of the street grew heavy. The wind whispered against the walls, carrying a strange uneasiness. Michael felt as if unseen eyes were watching from the shadows. His instincts screamed, "This is dangerous. Take Lily home. Forget this ever happened." Yet his daughter's hand tightened in his. "Dad, please." Michael took a deep breath, fighting his own fear. Slowly, he stepped closer to the alien girl. She flinched, her small hands raising as if to defend herself. He crouched down, his voice calm but firm. "What's your name?" he asked. The girl hesitated. Her lips trembled. Elira, she whispered. Michael frowned. The name was strange, melodic. Not from any species he knew well. He glanced at Lily, who already smiled warmly. "Hi, Elira." "I'm Lily," the little girl said happily. She reached out her hand without fear. Elira stared at it, confused. Slowly, almost shyly, she placed her glowing fingers against Lily's tiny hand. For the first time, her expression softened. Michael's heart twisted again. He knew this was trouble. If the patrols found out, if anyone reported them, he could lose everything, his home, his work, even his daughter. But could he really walk away from a helpless child begging for safety? His mind screamed against it, but his daughter's innocent smile was stronger than his fear. Michael stood up, running a hand through his messy hair. "All right," he muttered, more to himself than anyone. "One night, no more." Lily's eyes lit up. "Really, Dad? She can come home?" Michael sighed. "Yes, but only for tonight." The alien girl looked at him, disbelief in her glowing eyes. A tear slipped down her cheek, shining like liquid silver. As they helped Elira stand, the wind grew colder. Somewhere in the distance, a shadow moved across the rooftops, watching, following. Michael didn't see it yet. But danger had already found them, and this one night was about to change their lives forever. The small house of Michael was quiet when they returned. The night sky above the colony was filled with distant stars, but inside, the air was heavy with tension. Michael closed the door quickly, his eyes scanning the street one last time to make sure no one had followed them. He set the grocery bag down on the table, then turned toward the two girls. Lily was smiling brightly, almost jumping with joy. She held Elira's glowing hand like she had just found a new best friend. The alien girl stood still near the doorway, nervous and unsure. Her silver eyes darted around the room as if she had stepped into a forbidden place. "Sit down," Michael said firmly, pointing at the chair. His voice sounded rough, and Elira flinched. He sighed, realizing he was being too harsh. "You need rest," he added more softly. Elira obeyed. She moved slowly, holding her injured side, and sat carefully at the edge of the chair. Lily rushed to bring her a glass of water. "Here, drink this," Lily said kindly. Her small smile made Elira's tense face soften for a moment. She took the glass in both hands and drank carefully, her glowing skin reflecting the dim light of the kitchen. Michael crossed his arms and leaned against the wall. His mind was filled with questions. Who is she? Where did she come from? Why was she alone? But one thought was louder than all the rest. This is dangerous. She cannot stay. Finally, he spoke. Listen carefully. You can stay here tonight, but only tonight. Tomorrow morning you leave. Do you understand? Elira's silver eyes flickered. She nodded slowly, but the sadness in her face was clear. Before Michael could say more, Lily gasped loudly. No, Dad. She can't leave. She's hurt. What if someone catches her outside? What if she dies? Michael crouched down to face his daughter. Lily, we don't know her. She's not like us. If the patrols find her here, we could be in trouble. Big trouble. But Dad, Lily's voice trembled. Mom used to say we should always help people who are alone. You told me the same thing. Michael froze. The memory of his late wife stabbed him. Yes, she had said those words many times. Kindness is what makes us human. Lily, he whispered. This is different. But Lily shook her head stubbornly. No, it's the same. She's a child just like me. She's scared, she's cold, and she needs us. Dad, can't you see? She needs a family. Michael rubbed his forehead. His daughter's words felt heavier than any weapon. He looked at Elira again. She sat silently, staring at the floor, her small hands shaking. Tell me, Michael asked finally, his voice quieter. Why were you out there alone? Elira hesitated. She looked at him, then at Lily. Her lips trembled as she whispered, They hurt me. I had to run. Michael's heart sank. The way she said it, broken, afraid, made him realize she was telling the truth. She wasn't a spy, she wasn't bait. She was a child hiding from something terrible. Lily's eyes filled with tears. She threw her arms around Elira. See, Dad? We can't send her away, please. Let her stay forever. Michael felt the walls of his resolve breaking, but his fear was strong.
Lily, he said, his voice heavy. Forever is a long time.
Taking her in means danger. We don't even know who is after her. Then we protect her, Lily shouted, surprising him with her boldness. Isn't that what families do? Don't you protect me every day? Then we can protect her too. Michael stared at his daughter in silence. She was only a child, but her words were filled with more courage than many grown men he had known. For a long moment, the house was quiet, except for the ticking of the old clock on the wall. Elira sat frozen, not daring to hope. Lily clung to her father's sleeve, her eyes begging. Finally, Michael sighed deeply. He sat down across from them, his shoulders heavy. All right, he whispered. She can stay on for now, but only if she listens to me. And Lily, you must promise to be careful. No telling anyone. No talking outside. This has to stay between us. Lily's face lit up with joy. I promise. I promise, Dad. She hugged him tightly, then rushed to hug Elira again. Did you hear that? You can stay. For the first time since they found her, Elira smiled. A small, fragile smile. It was the kind of smile that carried both relief and disbelief, as if she couldn't believe kindness was real. Michael felt something stir inside him, a dangerous feeling, but also a human one. Hope. But outside, far beyond their small home, a pair of glowing red eyes watched from the shadows. A silent figure stood on the rooftop, recording their every move. The hunters had already marked their prey. Michael didn't know it yet. He thought he had given his daughter's wish for just one night. But the storm was already on its way, and this decision would change everything. The small house grew quiet as the night deepened. Outside, the colony streets were almost empty, with only the faint hum of security drones passing through the air. Michael sat by the window, his eyes scanning the dark alley beyond. He could not rest. His mind replayed the risk he had just taken, bringing an alien child into his home. It was madness, and he knew it. But when he looked over his shoulder, he saw Lily and Elira sleeping side by side on the old couch, and his heart softened against his fear. Lily had insisted Elira use her favorite blanket. She had even whispered stories to her until the alien girl's trembling finally stopped. Now Elira's face looked peaceful, though faint silver lines glowed softly across her skin in the dim light. Michael frowned. He had seen many species before, but never one that shimmered like starlight when resting. "What are you, child?" he thought. He tried to close his eyes, but sleep refused to come. Around midnight, a strange sound pulled his attention. It was soft at first, like the faint ringing of glass. He looked toward the couch. Elira was stirring, her body tense, her skin glowing brighter. Suddenly, strange marks appeared on her arms, patterns that looked like constellations. The glow spread across her skin in delicate shapes like living tattoos. Michael's breath caught. He had never seen anything like this. Lily shifted in her sleep, unaware, but Elira sat up suddenly, clutching her side. She looked toward Michael with wide silver eyes, fear flashing in them. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice cracking. "I didn't want you to see." Michael stood slowly. "What is happening to you? Are you sick?" Elira shook her head. Her eyes lowered. "No, this is who I am. I can't hide it when I dream. The light always comes out." Michael stepped closer, his jaw tight. "If someone else sees this, they'll know you don't belong here. Do you understand the danger you've brought to us?" Tears filled Elira's eyes. "I didn't ask to come here. I just wanted to live, please. Don't send me away." Her voice shook with fear, and Michael felt the weight of her words. She wasn't a spy. She wasn't a trick. She was a child running from something much bigger. Before he could respond, there was a faint tap against the window. Michael froze. Slowly he turned. The curtains shifted with the breeze, and for a brief second, he thought he saw a shadow move outside. Tall, fast, and silent. His heart raced. He rushed to the window, pulling the curtain aside. The street was empty, but he knew he had not imagined it. Someone had been there, watching. Michael locked the window tightly and returned to the girls. Lily was still asleep, her arm draped over Elira protectively. Elira sat stiffly, watching him with a mix of fear and trust. "Listen," Michael said quietly, crouching down in front of her. "If you want to stay here, I need to know the truth. Why are you running? Who is after you?" Elira's lips trembled. For a moment, she hesitated, as if speaking the words might bring her hunters closer. Finally, she whispered, "They took my family. They wanted me next. But I escaped." Michael felt a chill run down his spine. Who are they?" Her glowing hands gripped the blanket tightly. "Hunters. They come for children like me. We are rare. Our light is valuable." Her voice broke, and she looked away. Michael didn't need more explanation. He had heard rumors of such things, dark markets trading alien lives like objects. He had always ignored those whispers, hoping they weren't true. But now one of their victims sat in his home. Before he could say anything more, Elira suddenly leaned forward, clutching his arm. "Please don't tell anyone. If they find me, they'll take me away. And they'll hurt anyone who helps me. Even Lily, even you." Michael's chest tightened. His worst fear was spoken aloud. He thought of Lily's smile, her innocent laugh. Bringing Elira home had already placed them in danger, but then he looked at the way Lily's small hand rested on Elira's arm, even in sleep. His daughter had chosen compassion without fear. Could he really choose the opposite? Michael took a deep breath. "All right. You stay quiet, you stay hidden. No one outside can know. Understand?" Elira nodded quickly, relief flooding her face. For the first time, she looked at him not with fear but with a faint spark of hope. The clock ticked on, the night stretching longer. Michael stayed awake, his hand resting near the small blaster hidden under the table. Every creak of the house, every whisper of wind outside made his body tense. He knew someone was out there watching, waiting, and he knew this was only the beginning. As dawn approached, the first light of morning painted the sky pale gray. Lily stirred and woke, smiling when she saw Elira still beside her. She jumped up and hugged her. "See, you're safe." "I told you Dad wouldn't send you away." Michael forced a smile, though worry still darkened his face. He knew his daughter believed everything was simple. That kindness alone could protect them, but he had seen the shadow. He had heard the tap at the window. The hunters were closer than they thought, and soon, their little secret would no longer be safe. Morning light crept through the cracks of the old curtains, painting the room in soft gold. Michael had not slept all night. He sat in his chair with tired eyes, watching the two girls on the couch. Lily's head rested against Elira's shoulder, both of them still asleep. For a moment it almost looked normal, like two sisters sharing a home. But Michael knew it was not normal. It was dangerous. When Lily finally stirred, she yawned loudly and grinned at her father. "Morning, Dad." "She's still here. Isn't that great?" She hugged Elira tightly, who gave a faint smile back. Michael forced a nod, but his chest felt heavy. He couldn't let Lily grow too attached. Elira was still a stranger, and the shadow he had seen last night proved their trouble was real. After breakfast, Michael decided to talk. He sat across from Elira at the table, his face serious. "We need to talk," he said firmly. Elira froze, her glowing eyes looking between him and Lily. Michael leaned closer. "If you're staying here, I need the truth. Who are you really? What are those marks on your skin? Why are hunters after you?" Elira lowered her head. Her fingers gripped the edge of the blanket as if holding on to courage. For a moment she was silent. Then in a trembling voice she spoke. "My name is Elira Terra. I was the daughter of a noble family." Michael blinked, stunned. "Noble family? You mean royalty?" Elira nodded weakly. "My people live far from here, hidden from the colonies. We are called the Luminara. We carry light inside us, our blood, our skin, even our voices. That light is precious to many." She paused, her silver eyes darkening. "Hunters came for us. They wanted to take my family and sell us. They said our light could be used to heal, to power weapons, even to make soldiers stronger. My parents tried to protect me, but they were captured." Her voice cracked. "I escaped, but I don't know if they're still alive." Lily's eyes widened with shock. She quickly grabbed Elira's hand. "Oh no, your mom and dad?" Tears filled Lily's eyes. "That's so sad." Michael felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard rumors before, stories of black markets where alien blood was sold at insane prices. But to hear it from a child herself, it made his stomach twist in anger. "So you're saying," Michael said slowly, "you're being hunted not because of who you are, but because of what you are." Elira nodded. Her small shoulders shook. "If they find me, they will use me, and they will hurt anyone who protects me." The room fell silent. Michael stared at her glowing skin, the faint constellation-like mark shimmering across her arms. She wasn't lying. Everything about her carried a strange power, and now he understood why the hunters would never stop searching. Lily broke the silence with a firm voice. "Then we won't let them take you. Right, Dad?" Michael rubbed his face with his hands. His daughter's courage was admirable, but she didn't understand the scale of danger. He looked at her, then at Elira. "Lily, it's not that simple. We can't fight hunters. They're trained killers. If they discover she's here, we'll all be targets." Lily shook her head stubbornly. "But she's our family now. Family means we protect each other." She wrapped her arms around Elira as if shielding her from the world. Elira's eyes filled with tears. You would protect me? Even if it means danger?" "Yes," Lily whispered without hesitation. "You're my sister now." Michael's chest tightened. His daughter's words were simple, but they cut deep. In that moment, he realized the truth too. Not about Elira, but about himself. He had been so busy fearing danger that he forgot what it meant to be human. Kindness, courage, compassion. Those were the things that made them different from hunters. He let out a long breath and finally spoke. "All right, you can stay, but if you stay, you follow my rules. You hide when I tell you. You trust me when I say it's time to run. Understand?" Elira looked at him with wide, shining eyes. Slowly, she nodded. "I promise," Lily cheered happily, hugging them both. "See, Dad? I knew you had a good heart. Michael smiled faintly, though inside he felt heavy. Because even as they promised safety inside their little home, he knew the danger was already closing in. That night, when the girls were asleep again, Michael sat by the window once more. The street outside was empty, but his instincts screamed that someone was near. He was right. Across the alley, hidden in the shadows, a figure watched their house closely. The hunter adjusted the scanner on his wrist, the screen glowing with Elira's faint energy signature. A cruel smile spread across his face. "Found you," he whispered. The following evening, the air around the colony felt heavier. Michael could sense it even before anything happened. The streets outside his house were quieter than usual. The shops closed early, and the hum of patrol drones sounded sharper, almost watchful. Something was coming. Inside the house, Lily and Elira were playing a simple board game on the floor. Lily laughed every time Elira struggled to understand the rules, while Elira smiled shyly, trying to copy her. For a moment, it almost looked like they were ordinary children, but Michael knew better. Every sound from outside, every flicker of shadow made him tense. As night fell, Michael stood near the window again, his eyes scanning the rooftops. And then he saw it, dark shapes moving in the distance. Not drones, not patrols. These figures moved too smoothly, too silently. His stomach dropped. Hunters. He pulled the curtain shut and turned sharply. "Girls, go to Lily's room now." Lily looked confused. "Ted, now." Michael's voice was firm. Lily grabbed Elira's hand and pulled her toward the small room at the back of the house. Elira's silver eyes flickered with fear. She knew what this meant. Michael locked the front door, checked the blaster hidden under the table, and pressed his ear to the wall. Outside, footsteps crunched on gravel. Heavy, purposeful. They weren't hiding anymore. Then came a loud knock. Bang, bang, bang. Opened the door, and a cold voice demanded, "We know she's here." Michael's heart pounded. He stayed silent. Another bang, harder this time. The door shook. "Human," the voice growled. "Do not make this difficult. Give us the girl and you live." Michael's jaw clenched. His hand tightened on the blaster. He whispered to himself, "Not while I'm breathing." In Lily's room, Elira pressed against the wall, trembling. Lily held her tightly. "Don't be scared. Dad will protect us," she whispered, though her own small voice shook. Outside, the hunters grew impatient. A sudden crash shook the door. The lock bent under the force. Michael knew it wouldn't last long. He backed away, blaster raised, eyes fixed on the entrance. The door burst open. 3 hunters stormed inside, tall and armored in dark suits. Their helmets glowed red at the eyes, scanning the house. The leader stepped forward, his voice like ice. "Move aside, human. She is not yours to protect." Michael fired. The blaster shot hit the wall near the leader's shoulder, sparks flying. The hunters ducked, then spread out like predators surrounding prey. Michael fired again, this time grazing one of them. The hunter growled, lifting a sharp weapon that glowed faintly blue. "You will regret that." From the back room, Lily screamed, "Dad!" The hunter's head snapped toward the sound. One of them began moving toward the hallway. "No!" Michael shouted, rushing forward. He tackled the hunter, slamming him against the wall. The weapon clattered to the floor. But another hunter grabbed Michael's arm, twisting it painfully. Michael gritted his teeth and kicked hard, knocking the second hunter back. His blaster fired again, hitting the ceiling. The house filled with smoke and dust. Through the chaos, the leader moved toward the hallway. His scanner glowed, locking onto Elira's energy. "Found you," he hissed. Inside the room, Elira's glowing marks lit up in fear. Lily clutched her hand tightly. "We have to hide," she whispered. But Elira shook her head, her eyes wide with desperation. "No, he will hurt your father." Before Lily could stop her, Elira stepped into the hall. Her silver eyes glowed fiercely, brighter than before. The leader froze, momentarily stunned by the sight. "So much light. Yes, you are the one." Michael, battered but still standing, saw Elira and shouted, "Get back! Stay hidden!" But it was too late. The leader raised a capture device, a glowing net ready to trap her. Elira gasped, fear freezing her legs. At the last second, Michael threw himself between them. The net fired, wrapping around him instead. Electric sparks tore through his body. He fell to his knees, groaning in pain, but his eyes burned with defiance. "Run!" he shouted at Elira. Lily cried out, rushing to her father's side, but the hunters pushed her back. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Elira looked at Michael, trembling. Her entire body glowed brighter, the constellation marks on her skin blazing like stars. "No," she whispered, her voice echoing strangely. "Not him. Not them." The air around her pulsed. A wave of light burst from her body, throwing the hunters backward. They crashed into the walls, their armor sparking from the sudden energy. Michael gasped, the net flickering and falling apart as the power faded. He collapsed to the ground, struggling to breathe. The hunters groaned, trying to rise again. But their leader hissed in anger, his glowing eyes fixed on Elira. "You will not escape us, little star. We will return." With that, he activated a small device. Smoke filled the house as the hunters vanished into the night. Silence followed, broken only by Lily's sobs as she hugged her father tightly. Elira stood trembling, her glow slowly fading. Michael coughed, forcing himself to sit up. His eyes locked on Elira. He had just seen her true power, the secret she carried inside. And he knew now, the hunters would never stop. He pulled both girls close, his voice weak but firm. "We're not safe anymore. They know where we are. We'll have to fight, or run." Elira's silver eyes glistened with tears. "I never wanted to bring this to you." Michael shook his head. "It's not your fault. You're family now, and I'll protect family." The night was far from over. The hunters would come again. But for the first time, Michael felt something stronger than fear. Determination. The smoke from the hunters' retreat still hung in the air. The walls of Michael's small house were cracked, furniture broken, and the smell of burnt metal filled the room. Lily sat on the floor, holding her father's hand, her face pale with fear. Elira stood nearby, trembling, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Michael coughed, forcing himself upright. His body ached from the electric net, but his eyes burned with determination. He looked at both girls. "Listen carefully," he said in a low, firm voice. "They're coming back. Next time they won't leave without you. We can't stay here." Lily's voice cracked. "But Dad, where will we go?" Michael tightened his jaw. "Somewhere safe. Somewhere they won't expect." He turned to Elira. "You said they want you for your light. That means they won't stop. They'll hunt you across worlds. If we want to survive, we have to fight back." Elira shook her head quickly, tears in her eyes. "No, I don't want anyone hurt because of me. I should leave. If I run, maybe they'll stop chasing you." Michael crouched down in front of her, his voice sharp but steady. "Don't ever say that again. You're not alone anymore. You're family now, and family doesn't abandon each other." Lily nodded fiercely, hugging Elira's arm. "Dad's right. You're my sister. If they want you, they'll have to go through us." For the first time, Elira's lips trembled into a small, grateful smile. That night, Michael prepared. He pulled out old gear from his time as a dock security guard. Armor plates, energy grenades, and a stronger blaster. His hands moved quickly, his mind focused. He had spent years keeping his head down, avoiding trouble, but now trouble had come for him. And he would not run. He showed Lily how to hide in a secret space under the floorboards. He placed emergency food, water, and a communicator inside. "If something happens to me," he said quietly, "you stay hidden. Don't come out until it's safe." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "No, Dad, you'll be okay. You have to be." Michael forced a smile. "I'll do everything I can." He touched her cheek softly. "But I need you to be brave, Lily. Braver than ever." Elira stood in the corner, guilt heavy in her glowing eyes. "If you fight them, they will kill you. You can't win against hunters." Michael looked at her with calm fire in his eyes. "Maybe not, but I'll make them regret ever stepping into this house." Hours passed. The night grew quiet again, too quiet. Michael waited by the window, blaster in hand. His heart pounded, but his breathing was steady. He was ready, and then he heard it. The distant hum of engines. Shadows moved across the rooftops. Red lights glowed in the darkness. The hunters had returned. This time they didn't knock. The roof shook as they landed. The walls vibrated under heavy boots. Michael shouted to the girls, "Now hide!" Lily pulled Elira into the floor space, shutting the panel quietly. Michael stood alone in the center of the room, blaster raised. His pulse thundered, but his grip was firm. The door exploded inward. Hunters stormed in, 6 of them this time. Their leader stepped forward, his helmet glowing red. "Foolish human. You had one chance to live. Now you die with her." Michael smirked coldly. "Come and try." The first hunter lunged. Michael fired, blasting him back into the wall. Sparks flew. Another hunter swung a glowing blade, but Michael ducked, rolled, and fired again. The shot hit the blade, shattering it into fragments. Explosions shook the small house as grenades lit up the room. Smoke and fire filled the air, but Michael fought like a man possessed. Every shot was precise, every move filled with desperate strength. He wasn't just protecting himself, he was protecting his daughters. The hunters pressed harder, surrounding him. One slammed him into the wall, the armor plate cracking against his ribs. Michael groaned but pushed back, smashing the hunter's helmet with the butt of his blaster. The leader stepped forward calmly, ignoring the chaos. His voice cut through the noise like ice. "You cannot stop us. She is ours." Michael, blood on his lip, glared at him. "Over my dead body." The leader raised his weapon, ready to strike. But before he could, the floor beneath him pulsed with sudden light. Elira had crawled out of hiding, her small body glowing brighter than ever before. Tears streaked her face, but her eyes burned with power. "Leave him alone!" she cried, her skin lit up like a star. The marks on her body shone brilliantly, filling the room with blinding light. The hunters staggered, shielding their eyes. Michael shouted, "No, Elira! Stay back!" But it was too late. Elira raised her hands and a wave of pure energy burst outward. The hunters were thrown violently against the walls. Their weapons flickered and died under the force. The leader struggled to stand, but Elira's light burned stronger, forcing him down to his knees. Michael stared in awe. He had seen her glow before, but never like this. She wasn't just a frightened child. She was something far greater. When the light finally faded, the hunters scrambled to retreat. Smoke and sparks followed them as they fled into the night. Breathing heavily, Elira collapsed to the floor. Michael rushed forward, catching her before she hit the ground. Her eyes fluttered open weakly. "I didn't want to, but I had to." Michael's voice was rough but filled with pride. "You saved us. You're stronger than you know." Lily ran to them, hugging them both tightly. "See, Dad? We can fight them. We can win." Michael looked at his daughter, then at Elira. His body ached, his house was destroyed, but inside something had changed. For the first time, he wasn't just surviving, he was standing, and he knew this was only the beginning. The house was silent again, though its walls were cracked and broken from the battle. Smoke still lingered in the corners and sparks flickered from shattered wires. Michael sat on the floor, his back against the wall, holding his side where bruises were forming. His chest rose and fell heavily, but his eyes stayed sharp. Lily knelt beside him, pressing a damp cloth to his wounds. "Dad, you'll be okay," she whispered, her small hands trembling. "You're strong." Michael gave her a tired smile. "Stronger because of you, kiddo." On the other side, Elira lay curled up under Lily's blanket. Her glow had dimmed after the blast of energy she unleashed, leaving her weak and pale, but her silver eyes still opened from time to time, watching them with quiet gratitude. Michael looked at her, then at Lily, and felt something heavy lift from his heart. He had been afraid for so long, afraid of danger, afraid of loss. But now, sitting in the ruins of his home, he realized something important. He was no longer afraid of caring. As dawn broke, the colony stirred outside. Neighbors whispered about explosions and shadows in the night, but none dared approach Michael's house. Everyone knew when hunters appeared, it was wiser to look away. Inside, Michael gathered supplies into a small bag. Food, medicine, and extra clothes. "We can't stay here," he said firmly. "The hunters know this place. They'll be back, and next time they'll come with more." Lily's face fell. "But Dad, this is our home." Michael touched her shoulder softly. "Home isn't just walls and furniture, Lily. Home is the people we protect. That's you, and now her too." He nodded toward Elira. Elira's eyes widened. "Me?" she whispered, her voice weak. "Yes, you," Michael said simply. "You're part of this family now. I don't care what the hunters say. You're not alone anymore." Tears filled Elira's glowing eyes. She pressed her hands together tightly as if holding the words in her chest. "No one has ever said that to me before." Lily smiled brightly and hugged her. "I told you, you're my sister forever." For the first time, Elira smiled fully. Not a shy smile, not a small flicker, but a real smile filled with warmth. The journey out of the colony began that afternoon. Michael led the way, keeping his blaster close. Lily walked beside him, holding Elira's hand tightly. They moved through back alleys and hidden paths, avoiding patrols. Michael's eyes never stopped scanning the shadows. At one point, Elira paused, staring at the sky. "They won't stop," she said quietly. "Hunters always find us." Michael looked at her seriously. "Then we'll keep moving. We'll stay one step ahead. And when they come, we'll fight together." Lily nodded with fierce determination. "They'll never take you away from us." The three of them continued onward step by step. That night they found shelter in an abandoned warehouse outside the colony. Michael built a small fire from broken crates. The flames danced, casting light on their tired faces. As they ate a simple meal, Lily suddenly asked, "Dad, will we ever be safe again?" Michael stared into the fire for a long moment. He wanted to give her certainty, but he couldn't lie. "I don't know, Lily, maybe not for a while. But I promise you this, wherever we go, we'll stay together. That's what matters." Elira's voice was soft. "You should not risk your life for me." Michael looked at her firmly. "Listen to me, Elira. You're not a burden. You're not just some glowing child the hunters want to sell. You're a person, and you're worth protecting." Her silver eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were tears of relief. She reached out and touched his hand. "Then I'll stay. I'll stay with you." Lily leaned against both of them, her voice light but filled with hope. "See, Dad? We're a family now. Me, you, and her. That's all we need." Michael wrapped an arm around both girls, pulling them close. His body was sore, his future uncertain, but in that moment he felt stronger than ever. Far away, the hunters regrouped. Their leader sat in the shadows of a dark ship, replaying the image of Elira's blinding light in his helmet's recorder. His eyes narrowed. "She has more power than we thought," he muttered. "We will not stop until she is ours." But Michael didn't know this yet. He only knew the night was quiet, the fire warm, and the girls safe in his arms. For the first time since it all began, he allowed himself to rest. The next morning, the sun rose over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Lily stretched and laughed, chasing dust motes in the light. Elira stood beside her, her silver eyes reflecting the dawn. Michael watched them, his heart steady. He had lost much in his life, but now he had found something new, something worth fighting for. Family. He stepped forward, resting a hand on both their shoulders. "Come on," he said with a smile. "Let's keep moving. We've got a long road ahead, but as long as we're together, we'll make it." Lily grinned. "Forever?" Michael looked at her, then at Elira, who nodded shyly. His voice was firm, filled with quiet promise. "Yes, forever." And with that, the three of them walked into the rising sun, no longer just survivors, but a new family bound by courage, love, and the unbreakable strength of humanity's compassion.